So, sports picture story, a multiple picture entry of a story, series, or sequence on a sports event or sports related subject. All right, start with this one. I'm going to change this back to 3 seconds. Is that okay for this?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. After a year of playing many sports in a bubble or not at all, the COVID-19 vaccine rollout allowed sports leagues and teams to begin allowing fans back into the building. At limited capacity, extra crowd noise was pumped into many events. Precautions like social distancing, disinfectants, and masking were required at all venues. Okay. Without many organized sports or after-school activities in the Hilltop neighborhood of Columbus, many kids turned to gangs to occupy their time. The Hilltop Tigers soccer program helps keep kids away from violence, but organizers desperately need an indoor facility for winter. The group pleads with civic leaders and city council for financial support. The dance. For the first time since 2012, the Ohio University Bobcats men's basketball team makes it into the March Madness tournament. With the town of Athens just beginning to ease restrictions around the COVID-19 pandemic, students are eager for the chance to celebrate their team with a night out on the town. Just before 7 a.m., residents in the small town of Dover, Ohio, rose out of bed and turned on their televisions. Just before 8 p.m., Hunter Armstrong was prepping to enter the race pool in Tokyo for his Olympic debut in the 100-meter backstroke. The 20-year-old was on the world stage at the highest level, but due to the pandemic, his family was over 10,000 miles away and watching from their living room. The pandemic that kept his family from joining him is also what enabled him to make the cut as one of 2 backstroke swimmers on Team USA. Austin Bowman makes his job look easy. As the head drum major at Ohio State University, he darts, struts, and bends backwards until his plume touches the field turf, all to the raucous applause from the crowd of 100,000 each week during the football season. Sometimes, though, he loses his balance and falls, as happened during the first home football game of the season, a moment that was captured and shared in a viral video. He lost his balance but got back up. That's what matters. There's much more to Bowman's life as drum major, however, than game day performances. He's constantly striking a balance between school and band, personal and professional, and tradition and innovation. Quote, "You can tell who the dedicated ones are. They have that twinkle in their eye," former drum major Connor Barr said of Austin. "I 100% see that twinkle in Austin." Team USA battles Team Europe for the Solheim Cup over Labor Day weekend at the Inverness Club in Toledo, Ohio. Team Europe defeated Team USA 15-13. This one doesn't have a summary, but I will just read the first caption of the story. View of Yokohama baseball stadium from center field while Canada and Japan played during the round-robin phase of the Tokyo 2020 Olympic Summer Games, July 26, 2021, at Yokohama Baseball Stadium. It was the first time in history the Olympic Games were not held in the year originally scheduled. No fans were permitted to attend games due to the coronavirus pandemic. All right, so go back to the beginning here. And we'll do one to keep it in.
I'm gonna have barking dogs here in a minute, so sorry. My husband just
Out.
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 In.
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 Out.
Out. Out.
Yeah, Tim.
Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry, I missed you. Oh, out. Okay. Oh, wait, hang on. Out.
Out.
Yeah. Out.
Okay.
It's close.
Yeah. Yeah. Out.
Okay. Out.
Good moments in there.
Mm-hmm. In.
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 In. Okay. We are at 4 now. Hang on just a second. There was one that had a little star on it. Okay. Floor is yours.
This looks like it'd be hard to shoot with no fans in the stands. I mean, obviously, like the game is happening, but I think they got some cool moments for having less opportunity for photos.
Yeah, there's some nice variety. I like the scene setters. I like the details. You know, they got some nice, good action and some wonderful moments. I'd like to look at the drum major story. Is that first image? Can you read the caption on that?
Mm-hmm. Ohio State University marching band drum major Austin Bowman looks out to the field as he runs down the ramp for his pregame entrance on Saturday, September 25th, 2021 in Columbus, Ohio.
I really like this story. I think unless I'm missing it, the only image that I'm not seeing in this is, and maybe it's too prescriptive, I don't know, just him on the field, like actually doing like game day thing.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else, I mean, every single image is lovely. I love seeing him outside of his practice and out of his uniform and with his buddies and in his dorm. Like I really do think that this photographer covered all the angles. It just really would love to have seen him, little tiny guy, big giant OU stadium, would have been kind of a cool picture. And it's not, I don't know if anybody else had any thoughts on that, but that was kind of like, we've got the anticipatory images. Like that last image is really anticipatory.
Right. Yeah. I really like that last image. The last three, really.
Yeah.
That's just pretty to look at. But yeah, I agree. It's missing something. I think that might be it.
I wonder if that first picture is from the game. Because then, and that's when it becomes a matter of like, if you might only have access for like one game, how can you best maximize that small window of opportunity that you have? Because it looks like in the last picture that's probably before a game, like before the band goes out. And like that's a really great example of maximizing limited amount of time or access that you have for a story like this. So I do wonder or kind of wish that like if the first picture is going to be of him like in uniform, that it's like you go for it, like you give us something really, really strong in that performance, and then we can kind of take a step back and get the backstory that kind of leads us back to that last picture before they go onto the field.
Yeah, I mean, it's that whole, like, when you think, because the first image is that, the pleased to meet you image, right? Like where you really get this nice, beautiful shot of his face and all the majesty of his like uniform and stuff. I don't know where you would have sequenced that other image, because again, I think the ender is really strong. So it's the image you expect to see. So maybe that's not what this is. Do you know what I mean? Like, it is the backstory, it is the prep, it is the everything leading up to that one moment. But is the payoff strong enough?
Okay.
A lot of great images though. Photographer is really thinking about stuff and obviously knows light, knows form, knows moments. Like, yeah.
And it very well could be, because I think like the first three pictures on the second row, those could easily all be on the exact same day, but the way that they're shown, the way that they're used, it almost feels like, three distinct situations that the person, does each time that they go to practice.
Yeah.
And again, it very well could be like the last two could have been, before the game, but that's a really good example of just maximizing that limited window.
Can we take a look at the golf story? There's some really nice pictures in here. That first picture is just really fun.
And then the only one we haven't talked about yet is this one in the first position right here.
Oh, yeah. I think there might be one too many pictures in this story, as far as, I think there's a lot of nice moments, and but I think the edit needed to be a little tighter. Just because you can have 12 doesn't mean you should have 12.
Yeah, there was one or two that had some little technical issues, weren't totally in focus, but there are some strong images and good moments.
Can we bring this up? Can we see this one big?
Yeah, for sure. Do you want to look at it for a little bit longer, like 5 seconds?
Sure.
Okay. Oh, fail. Big fail. Big time fail. Are you even a photographer if you don't know how to use Photo Mechanic?
That's a nice one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, go ahead.
Nope.
Oh, can we get a caption on number 7?
7. This one right here?
Yep.
My Project USA founder and executive director Zurka Abid makes a passionate plea to Columbus City Council on October 20th for budgetary funding that will allow the Hilltop Tigers soccer program to be able to play year-round.
And then the next one.
With Hilltop Tigers players lined up behind her, My Project USA founder and executive director Zurka Abid makes a plea for donations to support youth programs like the Tigers during the My Project USA Fall Banquet on November 7th. My Project USA, which recently opened a youth center on Sullivan Avenue, provides Muslim social services and programming for kids in the Hilltop area.
Having those two images of her in the middle of the images of all of the athletes doesn't quite make sense, because, you know, are you following the athletes or the leader who's working to get this program out there?
Yeah, I was stopped when we got because the description was describing them going for more funding or, you know, advocating for more help. And so then I was like, okay, who is this woman? I mean, obviously the caption helps that, but visually for continuity, it might have helped to have seen her sooner with the boys. Maybe if that exists, like maybe she's loading the bus, maybe she's, you know, I don't know, doing something that would connect her to the soccer part a little bit more.
Right. Yeah, it feels disconnected a bit.
I don't know, Tim, what do you think?
I feel like this needs more time. Like it needs more time. It would need more interaction. The points that y'all made about I think it's the 7th and 8th pictures kind of coming side by side. If it's important to have her in the story, then she should be included at some point earlier, but not, or I guess like if it's possible, not in those sorts of formal settings. So like, I think it's the 6th picture that they're all like, you know, hanging out and like watching a match. Like those sorts of moments are really fun. Those sorts of moments help to, I guess, like add a little extra layer of like personality to the people who are part of this. Something that's really hard about like working on stories about teams is that it's really easy to lose focus of like who or what is the story, or like who or what is like the main idea or the central question. So like there are a lot of like good beginnings to a story, but it needs more time and it needs more development.
Can we get the caption on the first image?
The top is the summary, but the caption is Hilltop Tigers soccer coach Ali Jelani drives a colorful 2004 Ford E350 transport van to pick up Hassan Awis from the Wedgwood Apartments on November 4th. Jelani drives several miles around the hilltop to pick up kids for soccer practice from the Wedgwood and Havenwood housing communities.
So, I mean, this picture is, I love the bus, but you know, it is a purely informational picture. You know, was there a cool reflection thing going on when you still see the bus and all the colorfulness? And, you know, I think this should have been worked a little bit more. And I think as a lead image, it really isn't a strong enough image. The second image is really awesome. I love the close proximity, the little tear in the bus. You see, you know that these kids have crowded in there and they're headed off to something. And again, there's another anticipatory type of feel, like it's taking me somewhere, not just literally, but also kind of emotionally.
Okay. Do we want to do another round of voting and do 2 to keep it in this time?
I feel like all of these could potentially, I don't think this one has to get kicked out. I think it could be an honorable mention because I'd like to acknowledge the photographers' like effort here and recognizing this as a story, but then also like encouraging them to continue following it.
Okay.
What do you guys think?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Do we want to kind of like say that all 4 of these are going to hit the HM level right here? The 4 that we've looked at?
We've got golf, softball, drum major, and soccer, right?
Yep.
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Angie, Kathy, Tim, HM's here.
Yes. Tim, what do you think?
I think these are all honorable mentions.
Okay. All right. Well, then let's start moving some around.
Who wants to make the first bid?
I feel like the most complete one is the drum major story.
Mhm.
Like there are there are holes that you'd want to see fixed with all of them, but I think this one is the one that is, I think it has the most cohesive story arc to it. Because like it's a story on like one person as opposed to an entire team or an entire tournament. It's a lot easier to follow, and in a way you might have more opportunities to make stronger pictures because you only have one focus as opposed to 10.
Mhm.
Okay. Kathy or Angie, do you want to move anything into the top 1, 2, 3 spots?
I mean, I like this where it's at right now. I think that every image is, you know, even the ones that are kind of more transitional images, like really work. My other thought is the golf. There's a lot of variety there. There's a good mixture of features and sports and scene setters and emotion. You know, I think this photographer was everywhere that day, and making good pictures every time they kind of turned their camera on something.
Okay. What about these last 2?
I
The
think
Hilltop,
Go
sorry,
ahead.
the Hilltop Tigers is more of a story. I just feel like the softball, is that all one from one game, the same game, or is it different games?
I mean, we can look in some captions here and look at that. So this is USA and the gold medal game, Japan, US, gold medal game, bronze. So yeah, no, it's not all one game.
Yeah. Okay.
So the softball one feels closer to like a good edit for the day as opposed to a story. And that's not taking away from the quality of the pictures. These are really nice pictures. But I feel like the Hilltoppers one, like that one feels more like a story, even though it has like some technical like issues or like storytelling issues. That one feels closest and more complete to a story.
I agree with that take.
Yeah, I think it's aspiring to be something, and I want to honor that, or recognize that for the photographer.
Okay, so we're thinking that moves like into a third place position, and this is the softball one is more of an HM. Is that kind of what you're thinking here?
For me, yeah, I'd be curious what you guys think of the golf, because I talked a little bit about it, and if you feel like the golf deserves to be in that spot or not. To me, it's really great daily sports coverage of one event. So does that honor the spirit of this particular category?
You mentioned, because now that has me comparing the golf and the softball, because they both take place on the same day. Now, softball has its 2 games, since it's the bronze medal game and the gold medal game, and the golf, like you're bouncing around the entire day. I think. Oh.
Golf was shot over 4 days, just so you know.
Golf was over 4 days?
2nd through the 6th. Yep.
Okay.
So tournament, essentially.
Okay. I think if that's the case, I think I would put the softball as the second and the golf as the honorable mention, because the softball, there are a few redundant pictures, especially with a lot of like the Jew and the dejection.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they're technically a little bit cleaner than the golf.
Can we see the golf big and then the softball big?
Absolutely. Okay. Here's softball. How does that affect things?
I think I'd like to see a little more action in the softball, but there's in the golf, that one in the sand is not in focus, and that's kind of bothering me.
What do you guys think, Kathy and Tim?
I think they're really close. Are we vying? They're vying for second place. Is that where we're at, and leaving Hilltop Tigers in third? That's our thought.
Okay with that.
Can I see the softball again?
Do you want to see the content? You want to see it big?
No, the context sheet's fine. Yeah, it's almost like when you don't have any fans, it's kind of like you get there's a missing element.
Right.
I mean, I would be fine if this was second. I think they're both strong stories. I can see if you go back to golf, the sand shot out of the trap, and then I think the last two images, particularly the last image, it feels a little, I don't know the word, but crop just feels a little tight. And I know they're probably wearing a scrum and all of that. And it was a Hail Mary, it looks like, unless the photographer's like 6'7". The photographer's Eric Seals, that's what it was. If you don't know Eric, he's like 6'4" or something like that. But it just maybe feels a little too tight. I don't know. Where everything else feels, I don't know. Brain going mushy. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Tim?
Yeah.
Okay. So does somebody want to put something in the second position and we can vote on it?
We can drop softball into second position.
Okay. And then, so why don't we vote on this one for second place then? Or actually, wait, we haven't voted on anything yet. Okay.
Oh, I thought we voted on,
We didn't.
oh, okay.
I would have named it. Okay, so this one's in the first position. Let's vote on this for the position it's in right now for first place.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Let me name that. Okay. And then this story for second place.
Yes.
Yes.
And Tim, your yes also? Okay. Okay. And then do we want to move Hilltop Tigers into third? And HM, that's kind of what you were, felt like you were going that way. Is that kind of what you're thinking?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay. So let's vote on this then for third.
Yes.
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 Okay. And then this for honorable mention.
Yes.
Okay.
Really good stuff.
No, great discussion. I like I said, I think the discussion all day has been very, very good.